Shalom, shalom, Israel, brother Amos with the Watchman for Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, to the brothers out there pushing this truth in strong sincerity on the highways and byways, laboring day in and day out to edify the nation, wake up the children of Israel, still the hopeful elect. I want to give y'all a strong shalom as well, right? Continue to do this work until this kingdom come, or this kingdom fall, we put in the grave, right? To the sisters holding it down, taking care of the households, being a pillar of rest, right? Maintaining a clean and clear household for brothers to come home from dealing with the elements, right? Dealing with demons out in the world, and they can come home and be at rest. I want to give y'all a shalom as well. I wanted to do a quick little video, just a testimony of, an experience that I went through not too long ago, and a faith builder, right? A faith builder to those who may hear it, and don't mind though, it's a little windy out here. We finally got a nice day, so I decided to come out here before they start quarantining and everything, and you can't step foot off your patio or out front your door. So I just want to get some fresh air and bring some edification right before all hell break loose, shall I say, right? So I want to start off with these two precepts, and I'm going to go into the story of what happened, right? This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 37. For with Yahweh, no thing shall be impossible, right? So with the Most High, nothing is impossible. He can make anything happen. He can make any situation that seems like it won't be done, he can make it happen before your eyes, right? So with the Most High, nothing is impossible, right? You able to do everything through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Isn't that what Philippians 4 and 13 says, right? I can do all things through Hamashiach who strengthens me, right? So through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, nothing is impossible, right? And this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Right? So we got to look at our righteous forefathers, how they trusted in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They put their trust in him. And were any of them ever confounded or forsaken or left to perish? No. Right? The Lord continues to look out for those that put their trust in him. Right? For those that do his will. Right? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy and long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. Right? So the Lord is very compassionate towards Israel. Right? And I'm quite sure everybody's had situations where the Lord was compassionate on them. Right? So I got a few more precepts, but I'm going to go into the story a little bit and I'm going to bring them out. So this is a personal testimony that happened to me January 26th, about 4:30 in the morning, right? Me and my wife were expecting a child. We were expecting a child, right? So, she's at the last month of the pregnancy. She can't walk. Her back hurt. Her stomach all the way out. The baby dropping low, right? And so this is about 4:30 in the morning, right? January 26th. So she wake me up out of my sleep, and she's like, look, my water broke, we gotta go. She's trying to go to the hospital. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get up, start getting dressed, right, get everybody else ready, and we trying to move at a rapid pace, right? So we trying to make sure everything is done so we can make it to the hospital in time. We can, Lord willing, have the baby there and be in a somewhat comfortable state. So, it's about 4:35 now. I'm moving in haste. I'm getting everything done. I'm trying to do things so we can hit the road and just go. So about 4:35, my wife got on her dress. Right, I'm putting on my hoodie, my pants, put my socks on. She come to me and say, "We're not gonna make it." I'm like, "What?" Well, if that's the case, hurry up, let's go. So I'm getting everything ready. I'm telling my kids, let's go. You gotta get dressed. So I get them dressed in like 2 minutes. And any brothers and sisters out there who got kids, you know how hard it is to get kids dressed. So imagine how I was moving, trying to get them ready in 2 minutes, right? So she like, we're not gonna make it. So I'm like, let's hurry up, right? It's time to put the pedal to the metal. Let's go. Your water already broke. We gotta hurry up. So I walk in my son's room and I'm getting his stuff ready, right? I walk in my daughter's room and I come back and my wife is taking off her dress and she's going into the bathroom. And I'm like, what are you doing? We gotta go. So I sit my kids down on our bed. I turn on Arthur. Or yeah, it might have been Arthur. Something to keep them occupied, right? So I'm like, come on, you doing too much. It's time for us to go. Like, you can't be doing this right now. So I go into the bathroom and she's on all fours. I'm like, oh my gosh. Next thing I know, I see a head pop out. Mind you, this is about 4:40 in the morning. All this took place in like a span of like 10 minutes. So it's 4:40 in the morning, and I see a head start to come out, right? So immediately, I'm like in panic mode, but I gotta stay calm for my wife, right? I got 1,001 things rushing through my mind. So my first instinct was to I instantly was I was my first instinct was to call the ambulance, but in that haste of time, I'm throwing up prayers while I'm doing things to to get things moving, right? So I'm throwing up prayers. I'm dialing 911. My wife is in there, and I come behind her, right? So I come behind her, and the ambulance is like, "Hello, hello, hello." I'm like, "Yes, my wife is having a baby, and the head is starting to come out." She's like, "Look, go get some towels, make sure everything ready." So I'm like, "Man, I don't got time for all that." I put the phone to the side, right? So my wife, she going through those labor pains like she's ready to deliver, right? So I'm sitting there and the baby's starting to come out, right? Our son is starting to come out. I'm telling her, you gotta push, but I'm real calm so I can keep, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, was able to stay calm through that experience, right? So I'm telling my wife, you gotta push, baby, you gotta push this baby out. So about 3 or 4 pushes, my son comes out, and I catch him in my arms like this, right? So the first thing that he sees is me, right? But when he came out, he was real purple, right? He was real purple. It didn't like he was breathing. So I hear the operator, the emergency operator. I hear the emergency operator speaking to me, but I'm so in tune with the moment, I blanked everything out. So she's, "Hello, sir, hello," right? So I guess when I called it, they sent the ambulance, right? So my son comes out, he real purple, and I'm holding him, I'm looking at him, right? So we flicking his foot. I give him to my wife because I hear knocking and ringing at the door. So I run downstairs, and it was my sister-in-law, and she came in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?" Right? Because when you have a baby, it's a very messy situation. Right? You got blood, you got afterbirth, you got this, you got that. Right? My arms all covered in blood and birth and juice, whatever the hell it's called. Right? So it's all covered on my arm, and she's like, "What just happened? What's going on?" So I bring her into the house, into the bathroom, and I show her that the baby was born. Right? And right after that, the ambulance came. So we go upstairs. My son, he's purple. His face is purple. His body's purple. Right? So we like, okay, what's going on? Right? He not crying. So it's been about like 10 minutes. So we flicking his foot, and I'm like, "You all right, baby?" And my wife, being a pillar of rest, she's like, "He's fine. He's okay." Right? So they come in. The ambulance comes in. They're like, "Oh, he's not really breathing. We're gonna have to do this and that." And my wife keeps looking at me like, "He's fine. He's fine." So that's a definition of being a pillar of rest, sisters. Just an example of sometimes men get worked up, and sometimes you just gotta calm them down. Like, it's okay, my Lord. Things are alright, right? Like our righteous foremothers would do. Our righteous foremothers would comfort their husbands. Right? She kept telling me he's alright. So sucking the stuff out of his throat using the syringe. They giving him the oxygen mask, and he's still purple. So we sitting there, we like, all right, what's going on? And she keeps looking at me, and she giving me like a head nod. And next thing you know, he starts crying, right? So we're like, phew, all praises to the Most High, and we throwing up prayers. And so they take my wife and the baby to the ambulance, right? Because I got to get cleaned up. I got blood all on me. And I'm throwing up prayers. I'm thanking the Most High for that experience. I'm thanking the Most High for, a healthy baby being born, my son being born, right? And let me get this real quick, right? So this is just to show you that, through whatever situation you may be going through, right? The Lord is always going to be there for you if you putting forth good works. If you putting forth the righteous effort to do what the Lord commanded you, right? I'm not saying I'm more righteous than thou or the next person, but the Lord showed me favor on that day, right? I had faith that everything was going to work out perfectly. And my wife had faith that everything was going to work out perfectly, and it did. Right? Everything worked out in a perfect manner, how it was supposed to be done. Not too many people can say they had that experience. Right? This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are called according to his purpose. Right? So, like, all Israel has these experiences where it's like the Lord is working on your behalf and things work out, perfectly for you. Right? So the Lord worked out such a beautiful experience for my household that, it makes me appreciate, the goodness of the Lord much more each day. Right? Like, we can see the trees blooming and coming in. Well, you can't really see it behind me, but to the left of me, you see the trees blooming. To the right, the trees are starting to bloom. You start to see the miraculous works of the Lord in a different light after you experience these things, right? Once your faith is boosted up, you look at the world a lot more different than what you did prior to that. And the Lord put situations for us to go through to help us become more faithful, right? To help us not cast doubt, to help us not to be so pessimistic and to be more optimistic. Right? Because optimistic is truly faith. Right? You're looking at things glass half full instead of half empty. Right? Well, I'm catching hell, but it could be worse. The Lord is gracious. Right? That's being optimistic. Pessimistic, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's this, it's that. Right? The Lord is not dealing with that. The Lord is not dealing with those who are faint heart. Right? The Lord is not dealing with those who are unfaithful. Right? Because you go and die in your unfaithfulness, and it says, woe to those who are faint heart in these times. Right? I could have been like, I can't do it. Get that baby away from me. No, you got to man up sometimes. You got to get your household in order. Right? Your household is looking for you, and I'm speaking to the men, your household is looking to you to guide and to protect them in these last days through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? So we got to figure out, what do we need to improve on to truly serve the Lord and to be rulers of our own house and to guide them into salvation? Because the Lord is coming to save households. And if your works or your faith isn't strong enough, your household can be destroyed. Right? I'm just saying this, right, to help brothers see, through my testimony that faith is, let's get what faith is first. Right? Because faith is truly what a lot of people are lacking in these last days. So let's get the definition of what faith is. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Right? So you got to have faith that the Lord is going to make things work out in your favor. You got to have faith that the Lord is going to do everything to put you in a positive situation, to prosper. Right? You might be tried as gold in the fire, but the end result thereof is that you are more precious. You are a stronger person from what you went through. Right? This is what faith truly is to have hope and belief and know that things are going to work out. Right? This is Sirach chapter 25 in verse 12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. Right? So when you fear the Lord, that's the beginning of showing that you love him, and he's going to show you that he loves you by putting you in position to get more knowledge, right? Become more healthy in this land, right? Because right now we are in the midst of the Judges 5 and 11. We rehearsing the righteous act in the land of our captivity, right? So you should want to be more healthy in this land, so you can see the destruction of your enemy, so you can get called up with your how about Shimmy Shine. You can come back and cause all hell to these heathens, right? You should want to do things to put yourself in a positive situation with the Lord. Now, I'm not saying worry about your health, run 18 miles a day, drink black seed oil, and take shots of turmeric. I'm not saying that, right? But I'm saying the Lord, He healeth and He maketh sick, right? He killeth and maketh alive. So you got to understand that when you serving the Lord is going to be the one who's going to make you well. The Lord is going to be the one who put that spirit on you to be able to prosper in certain situations, to be able to be calm in certain situations. Because a situation like that I went through in my household, that's pretty hard to stay calm through. But that was all through the spirit of the Lord, right? And after that situation, my wife looked at me and said, "I'm so proud of you," right? Because as a man, I had to take that initiative to be a man, right? I had to put my faith in the Lord that everything was going to be okay, right? And it happened at a blink of an eye. When all hell break loose, it's going to be crazy, and it'll happen at a blink of an eye, right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of His love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto Him, right? So when you get faith, you start to know that you don't have no control over anything, right? There's nothing you can do to stop what's gonna happen. The Lord's will is gonna be done, right? It needs to be done. It has to be done. So when you got faith, you cleave unto the Lord that whatever He does, you got faith that He's gonna put you in the position that you need to be in. Right? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. For we walk by faith and not by sight. So we walk by faith. Everything we do is of faith. If it's not of faith, it is of sin. So everything we do is of faith. Don't continue to walk around like, I know this is gonna happen. I know I got this. Nah, Lord's willing. Lord, I don't want to rot this out. If it be the Lord's will, it's gonna happen like this, right? I got faith that the Lord is gonna make it happen, right? So that's what it means to walk by faith, not by sight. Because when you walk by sight, your eyes could fail you. It's a such thing called a mirage. A mirage is like when you're in the desert, you see something far off in the distance, and it looks like it's a oasis, or it looks like it's beautiful women calling you over. It looks like it's a herd of camels, right, or 8 cars, but that's not really there. So you trusting in the sight, but your sight could fail you at any moment. But the Lord's not gonna fail you. The Lord don't sleep. The Lord don't slack. The Lord don't slumber. The Lord is always there. So you have to walk by the faith of the Lord. Because if you're not walking by the faith of the Lord, then you're walking by your sight. And if you're walking by sight, you trusting in your flesh, and you make your flesh your strength. And your flesh can fail you at any second. Right? I got one last precept, and then I will end it off at that. I just wanted to bring out that testimony for any of you brothers that might be suffering with lack of faith, or a lack of what's the first word? I just say a lack of faith. Where I want y'all brothers to know that I experienced something that boosted my faith tremendously, and the Lord can do that to you as well. And the Lord may have this story, bring more faith to another brother, to another sister that might go through it. Where I know brothers who are fearful of the times, right? And I tell them, look, only thing that's going to save us is faith and our works, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So we show our faith by our works, right? You got to be predestinated. And if you're predestinated, you're going to do, so like, it's all these trucks driving by here, but if you predestinated, you're going to do what the Lord commanded you to do. You're going to have faith that you're going to be part of the elect, right? You're going to hope that you're part of the elect through your faith and through your works. Right? Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thy own understanding. Right? So we gotta trust in the Lord in all that we do. Right? We need last days. Right? We can't lean to our own understanding. Well, look, they about to shut everything down. They gonna start kicking in the doors. They gonna do this. We don't know what the Lord has planned out for us. You don't know what the Lord has in store for anybody who's going through Jacob's trouble. Right? That's leaning to your own understanding, thinking of what can happen or what can you do to prevent it. Right? Now, there's nothing wrong with preparing yourself, shall I say, but you can't trust in your provisions. Right? You can't trust in your riches, in your water, in your food. That stuff perishes. But the faith and the love and the guidance of Yahweh Shem Shah doesn't fail. It doesn't perish. Right? In all thy ways acknowledge him, he shall direct thy paths. Right? So whenever you go through something, whether it be good, whether it be bad, whether it be hurtful, whether it be joyful, you got to acknowledge him. You got to give the Lord all praise, honor, and glory when you go through something. Right? Whether it be something minute, whether you stub your toe, wait, that's the Lord's will. Call her Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? You get a promotion at work, that's the Lord's will. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakatah, the water. Right? You know, it's whatever you go through, man. You got to be able to examine, exhort, and thank the Most High. Right? And that's what I'm doing through this. I'm exhorting the Most High for that experience so that brothers who may be lacking that faith, or brothers that don't have the strength or the faith the size of a mustard seed to endure and ask the Lord for more faith. Because more faith is going to be the stability of our times with wisdom. Because through faith and works, wisdom cometh. Right? Lord don't give out wisdom to just anybody. You got to prove yourself to the Lord that he'll give you wisdom. He'll give you faith. He'll give you understanding. Right? So that was just a testimony of what I happened to go through. You know, I think the Most High was able to do that because that's truly a blessing. And I pray that the Lord may, whoever hear this, incline to the story and know that this story could have been just for them. I could have went through the situation to build up the next brother faith. Right? You know, and I pray that if any brothers is going through something they feel weak, to reach out. We got the email, watchmanforisrael77@gmail.com. Right? You got me and the other brothers on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Right? Reach out to us if you need help. Right? Closed mouths don't get fed. Right? If you need help or you need understanding, you need somebody to talk to, call us, man. Please reach out to us. And I I'm not gonna say I promise, but if anybody who's ever reached out to me, they can tell you. I'll reach out. I'll talk to you for hours on end. Right? Because that's what a brother's supposed to do. We're supposed to be our brother's keeper. When you going through something, I'm supposed to go through it with you. When you joyful, I'm joyful. When you're sorrowful, I'm sorrowful. That's the point of us being a beautiful nation, right? We got to be there for each other. We got to be able to exhort one another in certain situations that they need exhortation, right? Call that brother up that you don't talk to and ask him if he's okay. Bro, I just got off the phone with a brother. He asked me to do something for him. I told him I got you, Hawk. Right? I can call up my brothers if I need help with something, or I'm feeling down, or I need some counsel. I want to talk. They're like, "What's going on? Let's get this conversation going." Right? So don't feel ashamed to reach out to brothers. That's what we here for. Right? And if a brother reach out to you, don't be ashamed to give him counsel. Sometimes just be like, "Look, I don't understand. I don't know what that means. I know a brother who may be able to break it down to us." That's humble. Right? So Israel, keep the faith. Keep the laws, the statutes, and commandments. Use this time diligently, right? Use this time diligently. Make your election sure. Push forth the kingdom, right? Through much tribulation, we're going to get this kingdom, so we got to go through hell. But we don't have to go through it alone. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is always with us. So with that, I'm going to say, Kwam Yashala, Shalom.